how to influence people. I'm sure that at least some of you out there watching this or listening to this have read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I know. And this is not just going to be a copycat version of that. These are the principles. Some of it draw from the book, but these are the principles that have worked in my life specifically. So there's real life evidence to show that these specific behaviors help you to influence people. This is also influenced in part by Influence, the book by Robert Cialdini about persuasion and human psychology. Because I'm reading that right now as we speak. So there's a little bit of influence there. This is not my own original thought. This is just something that I've tried already in my life, and I've seen some results from it. So that's what I'm going to share today. The first principle is to say less and act more. This is kind of cliche, but basically boils down to becoming an authority, right? Being someone that other people listen to, being someone that people trust. And if you really reflect upon in your life, the most influential people, the best speakers, right? The greatest leaders that you have, the best leaders that you have witnessed. The great trait that they all share, I believe, is that whenever they're speaking to their people, whenever they are breaking the news or leading, right? Whenever they're giving a speech, whenever they're leading, in the act of leading, they aren't just yapping away. They aren't just like saying words just to say them. They are saying less and doing more. They say less, they speak less, right? And when think about CEOs at a meeting, right? Think Jeff Bezos at a meeting. He's always the last person to speak, and he always speaks very little. Because he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to talk that much. He doesn't need to add much to the conversation. And that's so powerful, right? Because when you this is not just an outward, external appearance of confidence, right? Whenever you say less, people want to listen more, obviously. People trust what you're saying more. People actually listen to what you're saying because you don't actually speak that much, so they really need to lock in and listen to what you're saying, otherwise they'll miss that opportunity. But it's also internal, right? Whenever you say less, it makes you really, really have to dig into the value of what you're saying. You have to really reflect and think about, okay, how can I say this in a way that is easy to understand and has impact, right? So instead of yapping away in your own comfort zone, you're taking agency to deliver influence and to deliver information and motivation in a way that is it's bite-sized, right? In a way that people can understand realistically, genuinely. And I think this is the cheat code. This is the cheat code to influence. It's an external and internal symbiotic relationship, between how you are perceived by saying less and the way people want to listen to you more, the confidence that you exude, the aura that people feel whenever they're in your presence, and then the internal strength that it takes to cut down on the jibber jabber and really get to the heart of what you're trying to genuinely convey, and then leaving that impact. The next principle is to be likable and be relatable. Okay, this one's. I'll admit this one's very cliche, but I'll break down. I'll try to operationalize these a little bit. Like, how can you be likable? Like, what does that even mean? What does it mean to be relatable? How can you be relatable? These words kind of make sense. Like, you can operationalize them pretty simply, but if you think about behaviorally, how do you actually be likable? It's genuinely just talk. It goes back to the first principle: say less and just listen more. Right? Listen to people. Genuinely listen to people. Make sure that they're heard. Make them feel special. Make them feel like what they're saying is valuable. And if it's not, then you don't have to fake it. But if what they're saying is genuinely contributing and is genuinely valuable, then nod along, like agree with them, like give them that positive reinforcement. And that is one easy way to make someone feel likable, because Chris Williamson said that it's the people that he enjoys spending the time with the most are not the most interesting people, but the people that make him feel interested, the ones that make him feel great and amazing and smart and intelligent. Those people. So if you want to have influence, then be likable and be relatable. And the way to operationalize this is not by trying to be more likable. It's not by trying to flex your achievements and your accolades and your skills. No, that's not the way to go. What you should actually do is not be that way. Like, be relatable, not by trying to force it, but by trying to search within other people, trying to be interested in other people, trying to make other people feel amazing, and then trying to find the threads to connect there. And that is how you have influence. You don't have influence by shouting out at the world about how good you are. You gain influence by telling the world how good it is. And then the final principle is to be consistent and committed to simplicity. So I'll talk about consistency first, right? This one's pretty simple. It's literally just show up. Show up every day and behave in this way. Show up, say less, do more, and be relatable to people and be interested in other people. Make other people feel amazing. And do that consistently. Even if you don't feel like doing it, at least show up. Give in the minimum amount of work to say that you've done the thing. And then commit to simplicity, right? This is what I was talking about before with saying less. It's about conciseness. It's about saying the true primordial meaning behind something instead of just dilly-dallying and saying jabber. Say the heart of what you intend to say, even if it feels weird, even if it's not conventional, right? Most people beat around the bush. Most people do this because they don't have clarity of thought. They don't have confidence, right? Whatever the reason is, they just hold themselves back and they try to compensate by just yapping more. I mean, I have a really bad habit of doing that. I need to work on that. So learn how to just simplify things. Keep things simple, right? With your leadership, with the way you influence, with the way you educate, with the way you train, with the way that you speak. Keep things simple and people will start to listen, right? Speak less and keep things simple and people will actually start to trust what you're saying, because when you say things with simplicity, you basically force yourself to have such a level of conviction that people have to believe you. And it's a really, really powerful aura to have. And I truly believe we can all have it. It's not this magical talent that influential people have. It's every single person on this planet can have influence. You just need to learn the behaviors to do it. Goodbye.